Hi, my name's Diana Clark, and I'm an interior decorator in San Diego, California. Now, you've probably already noticed that I'm holding a glass of champagne, and you're thinking, what? Well, to that I reply, hey, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Actually, to be serious, I have two really good reasons for drinking champagne at this hour of the day. One of them is that I live in California and I've been in quarantine in my tiny condo for the COVID-19 pandemic since I think March 19th. And today is, Alexa, what day is today?
Today is Sunday, April 26th.
Sunday, April 26th. So that's one reason to drink champagne in the daytime. Another one, though, is that I've decided to do a series of videos that are champagne tips for a beer budget. And I have my first one today. I think maybe it warrants a little sip. Okay, so my first champagne tip is not just inexpensive to do, in fact, could even be free. It's also super, super easy to do, and it is this. If you want to group a bunch of small objects together to create an interesting vignette, then I suggest that one very simple way to do it is to choose objects that are all the same color. So if you're ready to get your decorator on, which I know I always am, come with me and I'll show you a few pictures of what I'm talking about. In this example, I started my arrangement with the large vessel. See that little splash of red on the bird? Well, on its own, it's very subtle, almost not noticeable at all. So to reinforce that red, I shopped my house for some red objects to put alongside the vessel. And wow, it actually worked. The design principle at play here is this. If you have a multicolored situation and you want to make one of the colors really pop, just introduce other things of that same color. One of the great things that can happen when you group objects by color is that you've kind of solidified your small objects into a single visual message, and you've created one large decorating statement out of several smaller things. This is absolutely the cheapest way I can think of to get a brand new large decorating statement without having to spend any money because you already own all the elements. How cool is that? When small objects are scattered all over your room, no matter how much you might love and treasure each and every one, they sure can start to look and feel a whole lot like clutter. In my experience, they kind of lose their appeal and start to be those pesky little things you hate to dust. But as soon as you group them together, they're magically transformed from clutter into a single interesting design statement. Yes, it's true, you'll still need to dust it, but at least everything is in one place. When you're displaying accessories in your room, it's important to have them in varying sizes. One excellent way to create a large size accessory is to assemble it out of several small ones that are all the same color. When you do this, you've created a mass of color that's now the visual equivalent of a larger piece. Now it's time for me to give you fair warning. The next photo I'm going to show you is R-rated for potentially disturbing images. If seeing a human skull and a taxidermied raven will make your eyes burn, then I suggest putting your hands over your eyes until I tell you it's safe. Are you picking between your fingers? No? Okay, well, I'm going to protect your ears too, because I'm not going to talk about that human skull or that taxidermy. Instead, I'm talking about something else. Remember how I said you can make a color really pop if you put it next to something else of the same color? Well, this photo is actually a perfect illustration of that principle. I've owned this petrified wood table for years, and I've never really noticed the splashes of orangey rust in it. Until today, that is, when I was looking at this photo. Adding that rust background changed the whole look of the table. Now I'm wondering if I should paint my bedroom sort of a rust color. Well, honestly, if this quarantine drags on, okie doke, it's safe for you to uncover your eyes now. This is a G-rated example of how easy it is to create an interesting statement out of a bunch of small items. Also, here's a good time to mention that displaying things at varying heights is as visually pleasing as displaying things of varying sizes. For this particular grouping, I started out intending to reinforce the tan color, but as soon as I introduced that little Egyptian scarab, something else that I think is quite magical happened. Those little blue rosettes on the jaguar's head just sang to me. Color and the way you use it can be quite amazing, don't you think? No explanation needed here. It just is easy being green. Well, here's that crazy little scarab again, making a cameo appearance. But do you notice how in this particular arrangement, you really see his green legs? This vignette also illustrates what fascinating things can start to happen when you group objects by selecting ones that repeat a certain shape. But I guess that's a different champagne tip for a beer budget. Hey, I just gave you a freebie. Well, that's it for today. I hope I've inspired you to shop your own house and see if you can come up with some interesting vignettes in colors that you enjoy. And now I just have one last thing to ask you, which is please, will you subscribe to my channel and take a moment to like this video and maybe even comment on it? I can really use your support because this whole quarantine thing, it's like making me crazy.